The first sign came in the form of a text at 2:14 a.m., a time when sleep should have been undisturbed. Yet I woke to my phone buzzing like a warning bell. It was from her. "We need to talk. About him. Tomorrow." Just 2 words. About him. My heart sank before I even knew why. Him, her ex. We had been together for 4 years, and I never thought the past could feel like a weapon. I stared at the message for what felt like an eternity, my thumb hovering over the keyboard, unsure whether to reply with calm or anger. I put the phone down, tried to convince myself it was nothing, just old memories, harmless nostalgia, but a pit in my stomach refused to go away. The next morning, she was unusually quiet at breakfast. Her laughter, once easy and warm, felt forced. She kept glancing at her phone, her fingers brushing the screen, as though waiting for a reply I didn't want to imagine. I tried to shake it off, telling myself I was being paranoid. But the small things kept stacking up. Missed calls I noticed only later, a receipt for a coffee shop I didn't recognize, the faint scent of another cologne on her coat. My mind began a slow, agonizing spiral, questioning myself, wondering if I had imagined some of it, afraid to confront the truth. Then, a few days later, she dropped the ultimatum. I remember the moment clearly. We were sitting on the couch, the late afternoon light painting the room in gold and shadow. She looked at me with that unsettling mixture of vulnerability and calculation, the kind I had once found charming, and said, "I can't stop thinking about him. I need closure, or maybe a second chance. If you can't accept that, then I don't know if we can keep this marriage." The words hung in the air like smoke. My first reaction was confusion, then anger, then a strange, cold clarity. My pulse raced, but my voice remained steady when I finally replied, "Then maybe we need to step back. You can't ask me to compete with your past. I won't, but I also won't stop you from finding what you need if it isn't me." She blinked, caught off guard, and for the first time I saw hesitation flicker across her face. She had expected panic, begging, maybe even threats. Not calm, not this quiet resolve. That evening, I noticed her phone left unlocked on the kitchen counter. Curiosity gnawed at me. I'm ashamed to admit it, but my fear of losing her overrode my better judgment. Her messages were there, open and vivid. Late-night exchanges, flirty emojis, casual intimacy disguised in jokes, and words I had once trusted were only mine to receive. My stomach twisted. Each word was a knife, and yet I couldn't look away. The betrayal wasn't dramatic or explosive. There was no grand revelation, no hidden affair to confront in the shadows. It was subtle, insidious. Laughter at private jokes I didn't know existed, shared memories I wasn't part of, a connection she had maintained when she said she had moved on. The realization crushed me in quiet, suffocating waves. I confronted her that night, the evidence burning in my hand. Her eyes widened, then narrowed, not with anger, but with something softer, almost guilty. I didn't mean to hurt you," she whispered. I needed to understand what I lost. I didn't know how to tell you. And in that moment, I understood she wasn't a villain, not entirely. She was torn between nostalgia and reality, between the comfort of our life and the haunting pull of someone she thought she had left behind. But understanding didn't make the pain any less real. Memories that had once been sweet, their echo in her laughter, their shared stories she had retold, now felt like lies. My love for her tangled with heartbreak, my desire to forgive tangled with self-respect. I made my decision with a calm I didn't know I possessed. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I simply said, "I can't compete with your past. I won't, and I won't let my life revolve around what-ifs." She tried to protest, tried to explain, tried to ask for one more chance. But my answer didn't waver. The following days were quiet. I moved through the house with a strange, hollow clarity, packing things not in anger, but in a precise, deliberate act of reclaiming my life. She watched, eyes wide, perhaps finally realizing that my calm had been the force she underestimated. Weeks later, when the house was emptied of our shared life, I walked through the rooms one last time. Sunlight poured through the curtains, dust motes floating lazily in golden shafts. I could still feel the echoes of laughter, the touch of her hand, but they no longer had power over me. I breathed deeply, letting the grief settle into something quieter, something steady. I learned something I hadn't expected. Strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it's calm in the face of chaos, dignity in the shadow of betrayal. And most of all, it's knowing your worth, even when the person you love the most couldn't see it. As I closed the door behind me for the final time, I felt a strange liberation. The pain was still there, sharp and raw, but was mine to carry, and I was stronger for it. My life was no longer tied to her past, no longer defined by her choices. I had stepped out of the storm, not unscathed, but unbroken, and that was everything.